after we started using SeraKul on horses, we got a phone call, an urgent phone call, about a pony named Oscar that had developed laminitis. Oscar was 28 years old, was famous in these parts, so we took the task and we met Rachel here at Crook's Show Jumping to check out Oscar and his laminitis case and see if we could be of some help.
But Oscar's been around for many, many years and has taught so many kids in the area to ride. We got him from the Mercers, Rebecca Mercer. It was, I believe, her first pony. And after that, he just taught a lot of other kids how to ride. He went to all the shows and did the small ponies, and he was just a good guy.
There was just something special about Oscar that made me fall in love with him right away. So once I started riding him, my grandma and I found a 4-H group in Snohomish. We belonged to Broken Bits. And that's where I really learned how to ride and care for horses. I would show at the Evergreen State Fair with him, go to all these little local shows, and everyone in my 4-H group fell in love with Oscar.
Once we started noticing that Oscar wasn't walking very well and things like that, we had the vets out, and because he seemed really uncomfortable, they mentioned that we need to ice him twice a day to get the inflammation down and the heat. And I was talking with Rachel Gottlieb, who introduced me to Craig and Todd.
So I showed up one day to the barn to see that Oscar, the pony, was in quite a bit of discomfort, and he's dealt with chronic laminitis in the past. And so this was an acute flare-up for the pony, and at his age, really concerning that could be super detrimental to his quality of life. So I had been working with Todd and Craig a bit at SeraKul and gave them a call to see if they could help out and deliver some ice. The cryotherapy and icing is really a cornerstone of laminitis treatment, and particularly once they're in an acute flare, to try to control that inflammation and control the pain.
We first met Oscar, he was in pain. You could tell. He was balancing back on his feet. He didn't want to put any weight on his front feet. And at that moment, we really truly realized how serious an issue laminitis is. Dr. Rachel asked if we could SeraKul Oscar's feet, a treatment over a 2-week period of time, twice a day. We welcomed that opportunity. We wanted to determine whether or not SeraKul could treat laminitis and make Oscar more comfortable.
It's a big ask for someone to kind of take all of that time and make the commitment to do that. But for these guys, they were really committed to it, and Craig was out there every day, and they really built this relationship with the people at the barn and with Oscar.
We had to figure out a way to get Oscar to take the ice treatments, the SeraKul treatments. We had to figure out how he was going to sit here and do this, and he wasn't used to it. And we had to get it so that his whole hoof was enveloped in the SeraKul. And the only tool we could come up with was the extra large Ziploc bags. And in the beginning, when we tried to put him on, he really fought it. He didn't like it. He was real shy about the whole thing. But then after a while, he got used to it, and he would literally put his feet in there and stand there for 20 minutes without moving, and really, really loved it. I could tell we were making him feel better.
Oscar responded beautifully to that. Really, by the end of that 10 to 14 day period with the SeraKul product, he was much, much more comfortable, and it really, took that commitment. And in the midst of that, the relationship developed with Craig and Todd and Oscar the pony.
I mean, I remember the first time we took him out to pasture, and he started running across the field, and he actually bucked. And he hadn't done that in years, is what Ashley told us. That was so rewarding to see, to have the instant gratification of knowing that you had done something good and healed a horse.
Oscar and I think we had a very special bond. He was really nice to me all his life, and it just made me fall in love with him. He was very quirky. I remember there were times when I was in the show arena and he would start doing funny stuff, but it was never mean. It was, I look cute right now. I'm gonna parade my cuteness around so everyone else will start laughing and looking at me. And I think that just brought out my personality too, seeing that yes, he was little, I didn't think he was, that I have this big horse with the amazing personality who loves everyone, and he wasn't afraid to be himself. And I think that really helped me when I was little just come out of my shell too.
So we found out Oscar had cancer a few years ago, and we started treating the tumors with chemo and actually removing some of the tumors to make him, you know, be able to live longer and see if we can put it at bay. That was before he was diagnosed with laminitis. So through all of this, the tumors, they were kind of it was in remission for a little bit, I guess you could say. And we got another year out of him after all his treatments and everything, but then they just came back so aggressively. He was going to start becoming very uncomfortable and probably not be able to go to the bathroom anymore. So we had to make the hard choice to put him down.
After getting introduced to this industry with such a wonderful patient like Oscar, we felt it was necessary to commemorate his life by naming the machine after him.
It's a mixture of just sadness and pure joy, knowing that when he passed, he was comfortable. But it's just sad that he's no longer here with me anymore, just because he was a part of me since I was 9. I always thought that I would have Oscar with me when I graduated college and stuff like that. And since he's not here, it brings me a lot of sadness. But then the joy that he wasn't in pain anymore.
After treating Oscar and beginning to truly understand the effectiveness of SeraKul in regard to laminitis, we ended up treating 6 more cases of laminitis throughout the winter of 2020 and into 2021. Each of those cases, we had 100% effectiveness. We know we can cure laminitis. Oscar helped us make that determination. If it wasn't for Oscar, we may not be here today.